Back when gardens fed families and kitchens had no fancy gadgets, Nonna's Nonna could spin a single crumb into a feast. Ever wonder why her simple meals tasted magical? Here are 25 forgotten kitchen survival tricks. Trust me, Nonna knew something we've lost. Scrap broth magic. In Nonna's kitchen, nothing ever went to waste. Every carrot top, celery leaf, onion skin, and parsley stem was carefully saved. She'd tuck these scraps into a pot of water, let them simmer gently for an hour, and transform what most of us toss into rich golden broth. Nonna called this her free flavor, perfect for adding depth to soups, rice, or stews. Before packaged stocks lined supermarket shelves, this humble technique provided nourishment and comfort from seemingly nothing. Today, you might quickly reach for a box of broth, but try Nonna's method once, and you'll taste the freshness and warmth no store-bought stock can match. It's a small way to reconnect with her simpler time, using what's already in your kitchen instead of buying new ingredients. Save your veggie scraps in the freezer, simmer them weekly, and you'll unlock Nonna's secret to zero-waste cooking, a timeless trick that turns kitchen scraps into something beautiful. Breadcrumb panade. When meat was scarce, Nonna knew exactly how to stretch a tiny bit into a hearty meal for the family. She'd soak stale bread in milk or water, wring out the extra moisture, and blend those soft crumbs into ground meat with egg, garlic, and herbs. The result? Meatballs so tender and juicy, you'd never guess they started as humble leftovers. Today, supermarkets tempt us with fancy fillers or gourmet breadcrumbs, but Nonna's panade technique still wins, offering more moisture, tenderness, and flavor without extra costs. If you keep a small bag of day-old bread handy, you'll never need to buy breadcrumbs again. Just tear stale slices, moisten briefly, and mix into meat or veggie burgers before cooking. Each bite becomes softer, juicier, and infused with the genuine homemade goodness that modern convenience can't replicate. It's Nonna's genius for turning forgotten scraps into delicious family favorites, effortlessly proving that simpler really is better. Herb oil ice cubes. Back before supermarket herb bundles existed, Nonna kept a small window box overflowing with basil, parsley, oregano, and rosemary. At harvest time, she'd finely chop her fresh herbs, pack them into ice cube trays, and carefully cover them with olive oil. These flavorful cubes waited patiently in her freezer, ready to transform any meal. When winter came and fresh herbs were scarce, Nonna would pop an herb oil cube straight into a sizzling pan or hot stew. Instantly, her kitchen filled with summery aromas, and simple dishes came alive with garden-fresh flavor. Today, herbs often wilt before we remember to use them. But follow Nonna's trick, and you'll always have vibrant, homemade flavor ready. Freeze your favorite chopped herbs with good quality olive oil, then drop cubes into sauces, soups, pasta dishes, or roasted vegetables. It's a simple hack to capture freshness year-round, turning even the dullest meals into bright reminders of summer's best. Cheese rind flavor boost. In Nonna's kitchen, cheese was treasured, every last crumb. When she reached the hard rind, she'd never toss it away. Instead, she'd drop it into simmering pots of soup, beans, or sauce. Slowly, the rind softened, releasing savory, umami-rich notes, making dishes taste like they'd cooked for hours. Today, cheese rinds usually end up in the garbage, yet they contain incredible hidden flavor. Nonna understood this wisdom, turning discarded scraps into culinary gold. Next time you grate cheese, save the rind. Drop it into your minestrone, lentil soup, or tomato sauce as it cooks. Before serving, simply fish it out. Your meal becomes deeper, richer, and more satisfying, without extra salt or seasonings. Nonna's cheese rind hack isn't just frugal, it's magical. She taught us that flavor lives in unexpected places, and that simple acts of kitchen wisdom often hold more deliciousness than modern gourmet products ever could. Try it once, and you'll never toss a cheese rind again. Foil roasted garlic spread. Nonna discovered the magic of roasting garlic long before gourmet cooking shows praised it. Garlic was cheap and plentiful, but butter wasn't always easy to find. So she'd peel whole garlic heads, drizzle them lightly with oil, wrap them tightly in foil, and set them by the coals or in the oven to roast slowly. Soon, cloves turned soft, golden, and naturally sweet, perfectly spreadable like the butter she couldn't always afford. Nonna would mash this garlic onto crusty bread, stir it into pasta, or folded into mashed potatoes, imparting incredible richness without dairy. Today, supermarkets sell fancy garlic spreads and flavored butter at premium prices. Yet none match the subtle sweetness and depth Nonna coaxed from a humble bulb. Next time you cook, wrap peeled garlic in foil, roast alongside your meal, and discover a simple, flavorful luxury. Nonna proved great cooking doesn't need extravagant ingredients, just time, care, and a little kitchen creativity. Pasta water sauce thickener. Before commercial thickeners and bottled sauces filled grocery shelves, Nonna relied on something she already had: starchy pasta water. When draining spaghetti, she carefully set aside a cup of that salty, cloudy liquid. She'd whisk it slowly into her simmering tomato or garlic sauces, letting the starchy water bind oil, herbs, and tomatoes into silky perfection. This clever trick gave every strand of pasta a glossy, restaurant-quality finish, without cream or added calories. Today, sauces can seem thin or oily, leading us to reach for cream or cheese. But Nonna's secret is simpler and healthier. Next time you cook pasta, save that cooking water. Off-heat, blend a splash into your sauce, toss with cooked pasta, and watch as each noodle coats itself effortlessly. It's a timeless kitchen hack, adding richness and flavor without extra ingredients or cost, proving once again that Nonna always knew best, even without modern conveniences. Onion skin rice dye. Back when food coloring and saffron were unheard-of luxuries, Nonna still knew how to bring vibrancy to her table. Her secret? Onion skins. She saved the papery skins from onions, tossing a handful into the rice cooking water. Those humble peels tinted the grains a beautiful golden color and added a subtle sweetness that delighted everyone at her table. Guests marveled at her special rice, never guessing its color and flavor came from kitchen scraps most people threw away. Today, we rush to stores for fancy spices or food dyes. Yet Nonna's simple zero-waste technique achieves the same beautiful results naturally. Try it yourself. Next time you peel onions, set the skins aside. Add them into your rice pot while cooking, removing before serving. Your rice turns golden, aromatic, and flavorful. No extra cost or effort required. Nonna proved color, creativity, and flavor could be found right in the kitchen scraps we overlook every day. Citrus peel sugar syrup. When lemons and oranges were precious, Nonna never let peels go unused. After juicing fresh citrus for meals, she gently dried the leftover peels, then simmered them slowly with equal parts water and sugar, creating a fragrant golden syrup. Stored in jars, this syrup transformed ordinary drinks, teas, and simple cakes into sweet celebrations. Today, bottled flavorings and gourmet syrups line grocery shelves, often packed with artificial ingredients. Yet Nonna's homemade version tastes brighter, fresher, and more natural. Next time you squeeze lemons or oranges, gather your peels, boil them gently with sugar and water, and strain into a jar. Add a drizzle to hot tea, iced drinks, or brush over cakes. Instantly, you'll elevate everyday treats into something special. Nonna's syrup hack was born from necessity, but today, it's a charming reminder of her wisdom. Flavor and joy often hide in what we mistakenly discard. Potato water dough enhancer. Whenever Nonna boiled potatoes for gnocchi, she'd never throw away the starchy cooking water. Rich in natural starch, potato water became her secret ingredient for bread dough, pizza crust, and tender gnocchi. The result was pillowy, soft-baked goods and silky gnocchi, better than anything store-bought or pre-made. Today, we reach for commercial dough conditioners or unnecessary extra flour. But Nonna's potato water hack does the same job naturally, for free. Next time you boil potatoes, reserve the cooled water. Substitute it for ordinary water in your dough recipes. You'll find your bread rises higher, pizza dough stretches beautifully, and gnocchi melt in your mouth. Nonna instinctively understood how to make meals special with everyday ingredients, teaching us to see potential everywhere. This simple trick transforms waste into texture, flavor, and fluffy goodness, showing how brilliant cooking often involves nothing more than kitchen scraps and creativity. Revived stale bread. Nonna hated waste, especially bread, once a symbol of abundance. When loaves turned hard, she revived them effortlessly. She sprinkled stale slices lightly with water, wrapped them snugly in foil, then gently warmed them near coals or in a low oven for just 5 minutes. Like magic, bread softened again, ready to serve with olive oil or soup. No microwave, no expensive fresh bread, just resourceful cooking wisdom. Today, Stale bread usually lands in the trash, forgotten. But Nonna's quick steam hack restores freshness, saves money, and prevents waste. Keep your hardened bread, lightly mist with water, wrap it, and gently heat. You'll enjoy warm bread again, tasting nearly as fresh as when first baked. Nonna showed that good cooking was about love and ingenuity, not fancy ingredients. Her clever trick turned stale bread into nourishment again, a reminder that in her kitchen, nothing truly went to waste. Quick pickle tricks. When Nonna's garden overflowed with cucumbers, onions, or carrots, she never panicked. She simply sliced them thinly, packed them into clean jars, then covered them generously with vinegar, salt, a pinch of sugar, and peppercorns. Within just 20 minutes, she had crunchy, tangy pickles ready. No complex canning process needed. In Nonna's day, supermarkets didn't sell jars of gourmet pickles, but her simple homemade trick produced pickles tastier and fresher than anything you'd buy today. She'd keep these jars out at room temperature to serve at dinner or tuck them into her cool pantry for later use. Today, we overlook this easy kitchen miracle, opting instead for pre-made, store-bought pickles that can't match Nonna's fresh zing. But try her quick method once. Slice garden-fresh veggies, pour over your vinegar mixture, and let them sit briefly. The resulting pickles elevate sandwiches, salads, or cheese boards instantly. Nonna's clever shortcut shows how simplicity often tastes better and quicker than modern convenience. Bean water thickener. Nonna understood that even cooking water could hold hidden value. After boiling dried beans until tender, she'd never toss the creamy, protein-rich liquid left behind. Instead, she'd carefully save it to thicken soups, stews, and sauces, achieving luxurious texture without dairy or flour. This ingenious method added extra nutrients, turning every budget meal into hearty, satisfying fare. Today, we often discard bean cooking water without a thought, missing its natural ability to enhance recipes. Nonna, however, relied on its creamy consistency to enrich her humble dishes, ensuring her family stayed healthy without expensive additives. Next time you boil beans, remember her wisdom. Blend a portion of beans until smooth, combine with cooking liquid, then whisk gently into your soups or stews. You'll immediately notice the richer, velvety mouthfeel and fuller flavor. This plant-based thickening hack ensures nothing nutritious goes wasted, a lesson in resourcefulness from a time before packaged convenience ruled our kitchens. DIY herb salt. Back when specialty spice mixes were rare luxuries, Nonna created her own aromatic blends straight from her garden. She'd mince handfuls of fresh parsley, rosemary, thyme, and garlic, then layer these fragrant herbs generously with coarse salt in a clean jar. Within just 1 week, the salt absorbed all those essential oils, becoming a potent, flavorful seasoning she could sprinkle on anything from roasted vegetables to grilled meats and eggs. No expensive spice grinders, no commercial blends required, just simple, homegrown goodness. Today, store-bought seasonings often contain preservatives and artificial ingredients. But Nonna's method ensures freshness and purity every time. Try making your own. Finely chop fresh herbs, alternate layers with salt, seal in a jar, and wait patiently. Soon, your kitchen fills with a vibrant herbal aroma, and you'll have flavorful seasoning ready year-round. This easy trick connects us directly to Nonna's kitchen, teaching us the magic of crafting gourmet flavor from our backyard gardens. Yogurt whey starter. When Nonna made her homemade yogurt, nothing went to waste, including the thin, tangy whey left over after straining. While most would pour it down the drain, she saved this valuable byproduct for baking. The acidic whey reacted beautifully with baking soda, helping her bread doughs, biscuits, and cakes rise perfectly and develop a tender, fluffy crumb. This clever kitchen hack eliminated her need for commercial yeast or expensive baking powders. Today, we often overlook whey's potential, but Nonna recognized it as liquid gold, turning everyday baked goods into extraordinary treats. Next time you strain yogurt or ricotta, store the clear whey in a jar. Substitute whey for water or milk in your baking recipes, and watch how easily doughs puff and cakes turn moist and airy. Nonna's ingenuity demonstrates how a seemingly ordinary kitchen leftover can become an essential ingredient, providing flavor, lift, and nutrition, proof that simplicity and resourcefulness produce the best homemade delights. Mustard meat tenderizer. Tough meat cuts never fazed Nonna. She had the perfect pantry solution. She generously brushed whole grain mustard onto beef, pork, or chicken, then let it rest for at least 30 minutes before grilling or roasting. Mustard's natural vinegar and spices gently broke down the meat fibers, leaving it remarkably tender, flavorful, and juicy. While modern cooks buy costly bottled marinades or chemical tenderizers, Nonna's straightforward mustard hack cost pennies and delivered outstanding results every time. Today, most of us underestimate the humble jar of mustard sitting in our fridge. But Nonna understood its culinary power, using it to elevate inexpensive cuts into delicious, tender meals. Next time you face a tough steak or pork chop, try Nonna's trick. Coat liberally in whole-grain mustard, rest briefly, then cook. The tangy, flavorful crust adds gourmet appeal, while the interior remains tender and juicy. This simple kitchen wisdom transforms budget-friendly meals into mouth-watering masterpieces, effortlessly proving Nonna always knew best. Bread crust crisp topper. Bread crusts were never wasted in Nonna's kitchen. When she sliced fresh loaves, she'd carefully gather leftover crusts, cube them neatly, and fry gently in olive oil with a sprinkle of salt. Soon, these humble scraps transformed into golden, crunchy nuggets of flavor, her homemade version of croutons. Nonna sprinkled these crispy bits generously over soups, salads, and casseroles, adding irresistible texture and taste to simple dishes. Today, we frequently discard stale ends of bread or buy packaged croutons loaded with additives. But Nonna's method provides a healthier, tastier alternative, reducing waste and saving money. Next time crusts pile up, follow her example. Dice, sauté in olive oil until crisp, season lightly, and store extras in a jar. Your everyday meals immediately gain delicious crunch and homemade charm. This zero-waste kitchen hack showcases Nonna's creativity, turning something we usually overlook into a delightful topping, reminding us that great cooking often begins with humble ingredients. Here's your expanded and engaging continuation for hacks, 17 to 20. Each exactly 160 words, maintaining the same nostalgic, conversational tone. Coffee-rubbed roast. Long before gourmet seasoning blends filled supermarket shelves, Nonna learned a clever trick from neighbors, using spent coffee grounds in cooking. Rather than discard these grounds, she mixed them generously with salt, pepper, paprika, and a pinch of brown sugar, creating a flavorful dry rub perfect for pork shoulder or beef roasts. After resting for an hour, she'd slowly roast the meat, letting the grounds form a dark, smoky crust. The coffee imparted subtle espresso notes, creating a savory bark that guests always raved about. Today, coffee grounds usually go straight to compost bins, but Nonna saw them differently, as culinary treasure. Follow her lead. Combine grounds with your favorite spices, massage into meat, let it marinate, then roast or grill slowly. You'll taste rich, smoky complexity without buying expensive seasonings. Nonna's coffee rub transforms a humble roast into an unforgettable meal, highlighting her creativity and resourcefulness and proving the simplest kitchen scraps can yield gourmet flavors. Wine-soaked dried fruit. When Nonna found herself with leftover wine after cooking, she never poured it down the sink. Instead, she combined raisins, dried apricots, or figs in a bowl and let them soak up the wine for a few hours, rehydrating and infusing them with delicious complexity. Later, these plump, flavorful fruits would elevate simple dishes like rice pilafs, stews, or roasted vegetables, adding bursts of natural sweetness and tang without extra sugar. Today, store-bought gourmet ingredients might tempt us, but Nonna's trick adds festive flair at minimal cost. Try it yourself. Next time you have extra wine, soak dried fruits briefly, then stir into savory dishes or even desserts. The wine-soaked fruits impart subtle depth and sweetness, making everyday meals feel special and sophisticated. This simple yet clever kitchen hack illustrates Nonna's frugal creativity, reminding us that exceptional flavors often come from thoughtful reuse of common ingredients. Her wisdom transforms humble dishes into celebrations. Charred peel spice. Nonna had an ingenious way of making the most from every citrus fruit she used. After juicing lemons or oranges, she'd hold the empty halves briefly over an open flame or grill, lightly charring the peel. Once cooled, she'd scrape off the flavorful charred layer, let it dry naturally, and grind it into a fragrant smoky spice powder. This homemade seasoning elevated everything from roasted vegetables and grilled meats to soups and sauces, providing a vibrant, zesty punch of smoky citrus flavor. While today's cooks often buy pricey smoked salts or specialty spice blends, Nonna's method produced richer, fresher results at zero cost. Next time you use citrus, try her trick. Char peels lightly, dry, and grind with salt or pepper. Stored in a jar, this homemade smoky citrus seasoning brightens countless dishes. Nonna's resourceful hack reveals how extraordinary flavors can come from humble kitchen scraps, proving once again that simplicity holds delicious surprises. Honey oil preservative. When sugar supplies were limited, Nonna cleverly mixed equal parts honey and olive oil to create a natural glaze that kept pastries and tarts beautifully moist and golden. Before baking pies, fruit-filled pastries, or cakes, she'd brush this sweet, simple glaze generously over the surface. In the oven, the honey gently caramelized, giving baked goods a glossy sheen, while the oil sealed in moisture, keeping them fresher longer without artificial preservatives. Today, commercial sprays and glazes fill baking aisles, but Nonna's homemade version remains superior, pure, natural, and cost-effective. Next time you bake, whisk together equal parts honey and olive oil, then brush lightly over dough or pastry crusts. You'll achieve bakery-worthy shine, delicious subtle sweetness, and prolonged freshness. Nonna's ingenious honey oil hack reminds us that kitchen creativity and simple pantry staples often outperform commercial products, highlighting her timeless ability to make every ingredient count, while adding beauty and flavor to everyday treats. Stock cube shortcut. Before supermarkets offered endless rows of bouillon cubes or ready-made broth, Nonna created her own homemade version, straight from the freezer. Whenever she made flavorful broth from vegetable scraps or chicken bones, she poured it into ice cube trays or small freezer bags and froze them. Whenever a dish needed a quick boost of flavor, Nonna simply broke off one of these homemade stock cubes and dropped it into simmering sauces, rice dishes, or soups. Unlike commercial versions loaded with salt and preservatives, Nonna's cubes offered pure homemade flavor and instant depth. Today, convenience usually means compromising quality, but not here. Follow Nonna's advice. Next time you simmer broth, freeze it in cubes. When cooking, toss a cube into a pan to instantly transform ordinary meals into richer, more satisfying dishes. Nonna's original meal prep hack ensures you always have homemade flavor at your fingertips. No additives, no mystery ingredients, just genuine comfort straight from your own kitchen. Vinegar deglaze booster. Nonna never let good flavor escape her pans. After frying onions, garlic, or meat, those flavorful brown bits clinging to the pan's bottom held her secret to incredible sauces. Rather than wash them away, she quickly splashed a bit of vinegar, either wine vinegar or simple distilled vinegar, into the hot pan. The sharp, tangy vinegar instantly loosened caramelized bits, creating a rich, flavorful sauce in seconds. Today, many cooks rely on expensive wines or bottled stocks to achieve similar results. Nonna's trick costs pennies, but packs even more vibrant flavor. Next time you sauté or sear, splash vinegar into the pan while it's hot, scrape up the golden bits, and watch as your sauce forms effortlessly. Drizzle it over meat, roasted vegetables, beans, or grains for instant brightness and depth. Nonna's simple deglazing hack proves that culinary greatness doesn't come from costly ingredients, just the smart use of everyday pantry staples and timeless kitchen wisdom. Onion water lettuce crisp. Long before crisper drawers or fancy refrigeration tricks, Nonna knew exactly how to revive wilted lettuce and leafy greens. Her secret? The humble onion peel. Whenever Nonna cooked with onions, she saved the mineral-rich water she boiled or soaked them in. She kept this onion-infused water chilled, ready to rescue tired greens. To refresh limp lettuce, Nonna submerged leaves overnight in cold water with a generous splash of onion water. The minerals and natural sugars revived the greens, bringing back that crisp, fresh-picked texture. Today, lettuce often wilts before we finish it, but Nonna's ingenious trick extends freshness and reduces waste. Try her simple method. Keep a jar of onion water in your fridge and soak your lettuce or spinach briefly before serving. You'll taste the crisp, just harvested freshness in every salad. Nonna's clever kitchen hack transforms simple onion peels, something we usually discard, into a natural freshness enhancer, proving old-fashioned wisdom still works wonders. Stock stir-fry hack. In Nonna's kitchen, vegetables were treasured, and nothing ever went to waste. Not even broccoli stems, beet stalks, or kale ribs. While many cooks toss these fibrous parts aside, Nonna knew their hidden potential. She'd slice stalks thinly, sauté them briefly in olive oil with garlic, salt, and pepper, and serve them as delicious, nutritious side dishes. Broccoli stalks turn tender and sweet, beet stems crisp and flavorful, and kale ribs delightfully crunchy. Today, these nutritious parts frequently end up in compost bins or trash cans, overlooked and undervalued. But Nonna's approach honors the entire vegetable, ensuring every bite is used and enjoyed. Next time you prepare vegetables, save the stems, slice them thinly, and quickly stir-fry them. You'll add color, texture, and vital nutrients to your meal. Nonna's timeless kitchen wisdom teaches us that true cooking genius isn't about fancy ingredients. It's about using ordinary produce fully and creatively, with delicious results every time. Bread pan poacher. Without fancy gadgets or non-stick cookware, Nonna mastered perfect eggs every morning with a simple slice of bread. When frying eggs, she'd place a slice of bread directly into the hot, lightly oiled pan, then crack the egg gently onto it. As the egg cooked, its yolk soaked deliciously into the bread, crisping its edges while keeping plates free from oily residue. The bread transformed into a built-in mop, ensuring every bite had texture, flavor, and richness. Today, we juggle multiple pans and gadgets, often missing the elegant simplicity of Nonna's technique. But her single-pan trick remains brilliantly efficient, providing perfect eggs and toast together, effortlessly. Next breakfast, try Nonna's method. Slide bread beneath your eggs in the pan. Watch as the bread crisps beautifully and the eggs cook perfectly atop it. This genius one-pan hack saves cleanup, time, and adds flavorful convenience, reminding us that simplicity, resourcefulness, and creativity are the real secrets to unforgettable meals. These 25 kitchen tricks capture a simple, loving way of life. Got a Nonna who taught you cooking secrets? Share your favorite kitchen trick in the comments. Nonna would be proud. If you want more old world wisdom, hit that subscribe button and see you for more cooking tricks.